Who fits the profile? Hunter used to spend days trying to analyze people's minds and motivations, figuring out their relationship with their mother from the way they left a girl's body on the floor of a rotting motel room, or determining their favorite color from gags stuffed in her mouth. Hunter takes a scene of the crime and the statistics of every murderer and psychotic he ever studied and tries to fit personalities to monsters, like a mathematical equation. And he does it for only one reason: to answer only one question that will haunt him forever. Why did his father murder his mother? Hunter sits upright in his hospital bed, and he wonders to himself how he ended up there. His last memory is of him trying to activate the Flash's cosmic treadmill, a time machine to send him back. Just one day. That was all he needed. But something went wrong. Something went very, very wrong. His name is Hunter Zolomon, and he's a profiler for Keystone City Police Department. And none of this was supposed to happen. A few months ago, he was nearly killed by a creature named Grodd. He broke his back, causing him to be unable to walk. Hunter went to his friend, Wally West, the Flash, the fastest man alive. Hunter asked him to use the cosmic treadmill to go back in time, to change his history. But Flash refused. He said it was too risky, that they might damage the time stream. But the simple truth is that the Flash just doesn't understand tragedy. So Hunter ignored his advice and broke into the Flash Museum and tried to activate the cosmic treadmill himself. The last thing he remembers is the machine breaking apart. And then he was here. Some would say he is lucky to be alive. But to repair his life, to make it a life truly worth living, Hunter needs to go back in time. He grew up alone. His father and mother barely spoke. At least, not when he was around. It was almost as if his father wouldn't let his mother talk. When the lights went out and he was in bed, he would listen to the wall and he could barely hear them, but he never heard them mention his name. The year he graduated high school, the day he was supposed to leave for George Mason University, the story broke. Hunter's mother had finally talked. She told the police where the 5 missing girls from last summer had gone. In the ground, behind the garage. But his father came home from the lumberyard, axe in hand, prepared to make his mother his last victim. The police surrounded the house, but his father did not give up, and he was dead an hour after his mother was. Hunter did not know how to feel. No one knew why his father did it. They didn't care. They were just glad that the monster was gone. But Hunter cared, and he needed to know why. He needed to understand him in order to stop anyone else like him. Hunter left for college a week later and immersed himself in psychology, criminology, and sociology classes. He took Taekwondo and joined the crew and track team. For the first time in his life, he was content. He loved running. That's where he met her, Ashley. The day he saw her, he did something he had never done before. He tripped. He couldn't run for 3 glorious weeks, and he had never told her, but it was the first time that anyone had ever tried to kiss him. They graduated from GMU together and transferred to Quantico, the FBI's training headquarters in Virginia. It was easy to get in. They both did very well in school. Ashley's father was the supervising special agent in metahuman criminal psychology. He was the country's leading expert on the mind of the supervillain. Uber god complexes, heightened paranoia, advanced isolation syndrome. Ashley's father and he would talk for hours. Even though she hated it, he never wanted to leave. He loved hearing people talk and couldn't stand the silence. He and Ashley were married a month before the graduation, and her father was his best man. However, weeks later, one horrible hour would change his life forever. Hunter sits upright in his bed in order to grab a glass of water. He clumsily knocks over the cup, but his mind is elsewhere. He wonders, why didn't the Flash let him erase that hour? Why? Hunter's throat becomes scratchy, and he begins to get hotter every time he moves. He calls out for the nurse for assistance, but there is no answer. He notices that there is no noise at all. He's completely alone in the silence. All except for that strange humming or buzzing in the back of his head. He wonders where everyone is, why he's once again left alone to fend for himself. Just like with the Flash. He thought they were friends. Instead, he let fear hold him back. Hunter goes on to reason with himself that true heroes don't let fear hold them back, no matter the risk, no matter the evil. Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom. Thawne was the greatest enemy of Barry Allen, the Flash before West. He was let loose because of time travel. A manic from the far future, Thawne was obsessed with Allen. He wanted to take his place in this time period as the fastest man alive. Typical weak self-image and non-identity, mixed with delusions of self-importance and lack of recognition by society. A classic stalker. Eventually, Thawne crossed the line, nearly killing Fiona Webb, Allen's fiancée at the time. So Allen crossed the line himself. He broke Thawne's neck. That trial. Hunter will never forget it. No one could take their eyes away from it. The Flash was the talk of Quantico for weeks. Ironically enough, West testified against his mentor, back when he was Kid Flash. Reluctantly, Kid Flash claimed Allen could have stopped Thawne without killing him. The jury seemed to agree. But eventually, the Flash was acquitted. Allen went on to retirement, but returned to help during the cosmic crisis. Like all good heroes, Allen sacrificed his life to save the world, and Wally West became the Flash. Wally West. He took the mask off, revealed his identity to the public. Why? For the glory? Recognition? Hunter used to be like that. He had chosen to follow Ashley's father. His field of expertise was in rogues, low-level metahuman and costumed criminals. He helped break the Master case in Midway and the Bug and Bite murders in Pittsburgh. He proved himself, and unfortunately, he knew it. His ego was out of control, until the day he joined the squad in Kansas City. Ashley and her father were out there, but everyone was baffled. 6 people had been electrocuted and then thrown from a rooftop. Hunter pieced it together. All had been former members, at one time or another, of a small circus in Central City. A circus that spawned a costumed psychotic named Lyle Corley, the clown. Corley had blamed dozens of people for the death of his family. They had fallen during a performance years earlier. He did some time for attempted murder, but now the clown was back, lashing out at anyone connected with the circus. He was easy enough to track down. Hunter thought everything was easy back then. Corley has always used the typical murder toys: prison cream pies, lethal laughing gas. He won't have a gun, Hunter explained to his unit. He will not be armed. They trusted him, and Ashley's father ran headfirst into a barricaded door, only to see that, in the first time in a long time, Hunter was wrong. Corley shot Hunter's father-in-law point blank in the center of the forehead, and then turned his sights on Hunter. The insane clown lowered his gun and aimed it straight at Hunter's kneecap and pulled the trigger. Ashley shot him dead out of reaction. The middle-aged man's body collapsed to the floor and bled out, but Hunter could still hear his laughter. No one there ever forgave him for what happened. The Bureau let him go. Ashley filed for divorce. When Keystone Police Department went looking for a profiler to help them with their infested city, it was all Hunter had. Until he met the Flash. What is going on? Every time Hunter moves, he feels like he's burning up. He looks to the place where his water once was, wishing that he could find some relief to his uncomfort, and realizes that it never shattered. The glass sits in suspended animation, the water waiting to burst from the brim of the overturned container. Hunter then notices his legs, vibrating and seizing rapidly, almost uncontrollably. With all of his effort, he goes to control them and realizes that he can feel them. Not only can he feel his legs, but he can move them. It all made sense to him now. When the cosmic treadmill blew up, it did something to Hunter. The people, the glass of water, the heat of the friction on his skin, and that humming sound. This must be what it's like to be the Flash. This silence. Hunter's thoughts jumping around and jumbling together. His synapses are firing off so quickly that he can't tell if his thoughts are real. His thoughts are not even rational. They're birthed from emotion. The cosmic treadmill has done this to him. If this is really happening, then it must be a sign. Hunter tried to tell the Flash before. The best heroes are the heroes that will take risks to help people. Heroes who have faced unbelievable tragedy and understand why it must be prevented at any cost. Hunter has been given a gift that he can pass on to the Flash. In order for him to become stronger, he must face the ultimate tragedy. He must face his ultimate opposite, a man who has lost his pride, confidence, and identity to tragedy. A man who will run with him down a hellish road and feel no guilt in bringing him there. Destiny has brought Hunter and the Flash there. From friend to foe, there is one type of man who can make the Flash a better hero. One type of man who can reverse his twisted thinking. One man. And who fits the profile? Hunter fits the profile.